All right, this is She That Exists for She That Exists, her story channel. And this video is for William Roebuck, the scriptwriter and producer of the film Sodom and Gomorrah. I want to say to you that I had the gift and blessing and honor of watching your film, Sodom and Gomorrah, over the summer of 2020. And I'm reaching out to you. As someone who has created and directed and produced her own little community, kind of gathering community show, to let you know that your movie, Sodom and Gomorrah, is relevant and it's needed. And it's a message that the world needs right now. Whenever I was able to watch your movie, Sodom and Gomorrah, the person who shared the movie with me let me know that you, William Roebuck, received the vision of the screenplay from God, directly from God, from Source, from Creator. And a lot of the times, as a fellow visionary, I can share that a lot of the times when God or Creator gives us a vision, we we are ahead of our time. And that's what I kind of learned about myself, a little bit ahead of my time, but always needed, because that's just how God works. And your movie and your screenplay, Sodom and Gomorrah, the storyline, for those who don't know, the storyline is about a husband and a wife who they have two children, and they're living in everyday so-called suburbia. And the husband has a secret. And in the movie, the children are teenagers, so they have a long history of life and a family together. And the husband is struggling with his inner secret, and that his inner secret is that he is gay, and that he prefers men and he does not like women. Um, and so it's about his struggle with being gay, and being married and having teenagers. And so there's a part of the movie where he goes to church and he prays. And then the other storyline is about how his family like kind of falls apart and is destroyed when he comes out with the fact that he's been lying to his wife and his children, and not honest with himself and not honest with his family. And so there's a falling out of the family. And then the wife, it was so destructive, like for her, um, to know that she was not even in a real marriage, and that her husband, did not love her in that sacred way. She was not able to get past it. And so in the storyline of the movie, she commits suicide. And when I saw this movie, the producer in me, the writer in me, the creative designer and producer and artist and writer inside of me said that it's time to get this movie off the shelf, and we need to have events and we need to have gatherings, and we need to get this movie seen. Um, I am a decade. Um, Out of my one and only marriage, and finding out that I too was like a beard. That's what the women are called. And I created a video on this alive earlier that people can go back to. It's the live that I created before this. And it was it was talking about how I found an article online, and I've made another video about beards before, but how gay men, or guys that are into children, or gay that have sexual fetishes. And I'm learning about this whole she-male thing, that there are hermaphrodites, and females that look like females, but they have phalluses, and that it's like a whole thing. And this is something that women need to know. Like, we deserve to know the truth, because this is something that was hidden, from me and my child. And my former husband, he's so unwilling to tell the truth that he would just rather have my child, like, led to believe that there's something wrong with me, or that, that I'm the one who, you know, deserves to be hated, whenever he has not come out with his secret and he's not come out with his truth. And I want to say that this movie that William Roebuck produced and created, when he received his vision from God, it's for such a time as this. It's for such a time as this now. And one of the She That Exist, Her Story channel subscribers, said this is very, very relevant. This is very, very, very needed. So, my message to William Roebuck, who is the producer and the director of the film Sodom and Gomorrah, this is for you. I want to get together and I want to work with you, because family restoration is needed. Um, and in this movie, the woman committed suicide. Like, the children lost their mother, and that's how serious this is. And we are already living in a society where there's genocide. We're already living in a society of human trafficking. We're living in a society where children are being adulterated, where pornography is the number one profit in the United States corporation, and we are losing family as sacred. Like, family as we know it is sacred. And so, as a creator and a producer, and as a creative designer and artist, what I want to do is I want to work with William Roebuck to get this movie off the shelf, and for us to hold events across the United States for to bring awareness, because I know that there are a lot of females who are in marriages where you don't even know what's going on. Like, you know that your husband's lying. For me, when I started finding, like, bottles of alcohol underneath the seats, I was just like, "What is going on?" So I know that there are women who are just lost and confused and just in darkness and not knowing. And our children, we all deserve to know the truth. God has called me into family restoration for such a time as this. If it's going on in Hollywood, like the last video that I created I found an article and I'll pull it up now. It's an article that says 11 famous gay men who married women on www.therichest.com. And so this is not just in Hollywood. This is everywhere. This is in every pocket of society. And God has called me into family restoration and praying with people and being a guide and just holding people's hand and extending my heart. Um, and and what I want to say is, like, we're not here to, like, bring judgment, but it's important for there to be truth and awareness, because family is so sacred. And I have not gotten remarried. I've just been figuring the truth out for my life and what I've lived through and what my daughter's dad put me through. And so, William Roebuck, director and screenplay of Sodom and Gomorrah, God gave him the vision for that movie, and this film has just been sitting on the shelf, and we need to get this out there everywhere. It needs to get out everywhere, and the producer in me, the director in me, the artist and the writer and the designer in me wants to be a part of this so bad, because I have lived this, and we need to get education out there. We need to get awareness out there, because I know that there are women who have no idea that they're married and that their husbands are gay, or that their husbands are bisexual, or that their husbands have secret fetishes to where they're into, like, children or young boys. I've heard they're called she-males. Um, and then I've also, like, heard, like, when they're into, like, younger boys, they're called, like, sissy boys or something. I don't know the lingo, okay? I'm just, like, finding this out. But in this movie, that William Roebuck created, the wife killed herself. This is how serious this is. And for me, it was an absolute tragedy having to live this myself. And I'm still moving through the restoration process. And my daughter and I, we have not even got to begin the restoration process that's coming for us. Um, so this movie, the screenplay, Sodom and Gomorrah by William Roebuck, I want him to contact me, and I want to be a part of this because this movie needs to get everywhere, and we need to focus on family restoration, we need to focus on healing. Suicide is already at an all-time high, in the United States and around the world, and genocide and trafficking, and we don't need any more destruction. We need love, we need healing, we need grace, we need mercy, we need restoration, we need comfort, we need support, we need to uplift one another, we need to stand in the gap for one another, and we need to just be present and love one another for such a time as this. So, William Roebuck, founder, visionary, and producer of the film Sodom and Gomorrah. This is She That Exists for She That Exists, her story channel. And I want to help you and be a part of your vision because I truly believe and know that your vision came directly from God, just like the one who shared with me um, and gave me the opportunity to watch the movie. Um, he shared it with the right woman when he shared it with me. Um, so please, everybody, make sure this video gets to William Roebuck, the producer and the visionary of the film Sodom and Gomorrah, because I know that I know that I know that I know that I know that, like I was told, he received that vision straight from God, and it's relevant for today, for such a time as this. And we need to get this movie into the hands of those who need it. And we also need to create healing circles, and we also need to create prayer circles, and we also need to create family restoration circles. And just bring whatever this is into the light, because nobody should have to live with guilt and shame and darkness and fear and confusion. This is equally important for the husbands who, are dealing with the fact and experiencing the fact that they are gay, or that, they have a lust for children, or, they're into she-males, or they have other different types of sexual perversions. But this is also equally important to the women, the wives, who are confused because their husbands do not know how to love them the way that they should, and to make love to them the way that they should, and to honor life and family and children as sacred. And I've lived this, so I especially have a heart for this. And it's needed and it's relevant for today. And we're called to shine a light on the darkness. And the darkness is not knowing, it's unawareness. It's nothing to be feared. But family is sacred. Family Family is one of the last sacred things that we have left on this earth, and family is the original jurisdiction of God, and so we are to honor the original jurisdiction of our Creator, and that is nature's way. So I want to be a part of bringing the film Sodom and Gomorrah into the hands of the people, and for providing restoration for families. And if that's prayer circles, if that's gatherings, if that is coming together for us to grieve and to cry and to pray and to heal and to hold each other's hand and to come together in the circles to prevent loss of life, then it's time. And in the movie, the wife ends up killing herself with an overdose of prescriptions, and those children lost their mother. And this is real life. And that's what I loved about the film, is it was a representation of real life. And we have to wake up and we have to realize that life is real, life is sacred, and we are here to be a part of each other's restoration. We are here to be a part of each other's healing when we are called to pray for one another. So, yeah, I left my email for William Roebuck to contact me. And for anyone else who feels that this message is for them, please reach out. This is She That Exists with She That Exists, her story channel. That is all. I'll be back.